somewhere else, you know?
What other thing is like that? What other substance, that is like in Ohio, like we're talking about, like the fact that they created a law, and even the fact that this was even a risk, this was even a chance to be like
they gave them a month before it became operational. So like
Yeah.
within that month of becoming operational, the legislature stepped in and said, we got to change these things.
You were wrong. You don't know what you're talking about. All this majority voting thing is fucked up. It's kind of, yeah. Why not just proceed the way because the stimmy on the actual businesses is losing your local community so much money, right? Like we talk about how greed is bad and all this other stuff, but there is markets and actual sustainability that your social people can profit from, not just like financially, but like judicially. Like, why are we wasting our time with this shit? This is not shouldn't be a pressing matter. We got enough.
Yeah, but let's go to but then Ohio went, and Ohio then went quick. And so Ohio had a ballot initiative a month ago, and then they legalized it. But then within that month before it became effective, this past December 7th, the legislature swooped in and made some changes. And so what's on the agenda in Ohio, this was just our most recent video that came out. It's doing all right. It's over 10,000 views. But in a fast-moving week, they say, the Senate came out and they created a fairly bipartisan, it's a 28-2 passage of the amended bill. It has some changes to what issue 2 provided for. These are the changes between the new law and then what issue 2 provided for. They did not change the possession limit, 2.5 ounces of cannabis. So does that mean that it is 2.5 times more legal in Ohio than it is in Illinois? Because I can only have an ounce. They can have 2.5 ounces.
Well, I think what we're looking at too is the license structure, the regulation structure, that side of things, as far as like, how do you get into this market? How, it's, as I said before, it's not like this big hippie drum circle no more. Like legalization, it's not, hemp fest, all the gatherings, all the shit. That's not what legalization is about. It's about like a progressing society of us, like just not being prosecuted or persecuted or anything like that. But like, there's going to be a store you got to go to. There's going to be a person that grows for that store. There's going to be some
adults, adults get to grow. And so, but it's 6 plants a household. So that's a change. It was 2 adults per household for 12 plants under issue 2. No cultivation tax though. So no cultivation tax. That got struck out. THC potency cap, 35% for plant material. But I think that's like all flower. Test it again and pay the tester, like, and to like, can you declock this by 1%? But
I don't think that's gonna be an issue.
That's not gonna be an issue.
No.
But 50% extracts, that's an issue, bro. That's like basically hash. 50% extracts, hash might be about 50%, but I don't want to smoke a 50% vape pen.
Well, that's for sure. But I'm just keep thinking that now. It just makes me think about this is how it's going to be a limited market there when it comes to like when we talk about limited markets. It's not also about like the amount of licenses, but it's the amount of products, SKU codes. The things that we've looked at in the business side of things, where it's like they still constrain themselves, but I mean, big leaps, I guess. At least for the law.
They also changed the licensing. Statewide cap now, 350 dispensaries. So 130 medical dispensaries are already on the table. And then they were supposed to actually double that number. So it would be up to like 260. And then they were going to do another 50 social equity applicant licenses. I don't know what's going to happen on those because issue 2 called for something, but they've capped it at 350. So let's see in the coming months what the rules say on how they're going to do that licensing. Existing medical dispos can transition to adult use sales in 90 days. They used to be given like a +1. So maybe they're just going to start with the 130 dispensaries and say, we got another 200 and 20 to issue. I'm cool with that, especially if they do it like they did the previous times.
I think they got to get on board quick because right now what they've enabled with the law, because there's going to be a lot of home grows now. That's good, right?
Home grows are great for the industry. Look
Yeah.
at Michigan and look at Missouri. Both have healthy home grow, and so I fucked the shit out of my goddamn rockwool plants when I was traveling the past 2 weeks.
Mm.
And my pH pen was also on the fritz, so I was flying blind, and that did not go well. And that is fine, but even though I grow at home, I go and buy weed, and then I
Oh,
would
sure,
buy
dude.
more weed, and it's just at a price point issue then. And so, like, once the price point gets to like Washington State West Coast prices, or Oklahoma prices, or like Michigan prices, or Massachusetts prices, where you have selection and price point. Shit, man. Sometimes I just have to buy the tomato from the grocery store. Like I can't
Yeah.
be making that tomato.
Well, I mean, like, I didn't make this beer. I went to the store and bought it, but I could also go to a bar and drink with other people if I want to or whatever.
Well, those
So,
are differences of licenses. And so that's kind of what they were
yeah.
getting at with the consumption lounge license over in Las Vegas that we were at. But if you just have another class of licenses called hemp that completely occupies the field of all the regulations, what's the fucking point?
I mean, there's a lot of aspects to the rulemaking, like depending on what you want to do. You know what I mean? Like, fundamentally, like how you and I know each other is this like we should be like I should be allowed to have a home grow my own shit, and not get fucked with, right? But also, like, I was never when I was younger, I never grew. I tried to grow like one or twice, and it was horrible. And then when I got older and had more access, I did. But uh, my really hands on behind the scenes was like buying large amounts and then splitting it up and a middle businessman. I was a middleman, but
Right.
not
Distributor.
a yeah, but like it wasn't like branding or anything like that. It was just like trying to pay for its own shit for me. It was like, okay, I do consume a lot of weed, and like I don't want like the whatever money I do from 9 to 5 be the decision maker. I want what I can sell for a quarter pound was in 5 minute motion and recoup the cost was like that's business, right? Like I'm a big fan of business, and I just sometimes that's the unfortunate part of like the legalization is I've always said like when Walmart gets involved, it sucks, but there's still going to be like small mom and pops. But the thing is, unless people be able to get fucked with, like the enabling of the law, until it's federally, overall, even like a states' right bullshit thing would just still limit your motion, right? Like as when I was younger, I used to travel a lot, and then like it would be love to like not. I would be fine getting pulled over if I didn't, like not get my butt puckered because I have, a pipe and a small amount of like weed. So sucks. But the regulations changing too. Like when it came to the business side of things, I got the Colorado story. I don't know if you want to talk about that real quick. I think that's kind of huge as far as like the seed to sell tracking, right? Like when it came to legalization, seed to sell, I always thought was like dumb, right? Because they're talking about diversion and seed to sell. The only time the tracking is important is for your own inventory. It's only for your own purpose. It doesn't have to be a portion of the law per se. I mean, it's still
for
valuable.
diversion purposes. And so like that's really why the seed to sale is there. So it's supply control diversion.
Yeah, but Colorado is discontinuing the traceability tags. So I mean that like when you cut out a little bit less out, like it just shapes it and enables more for like it's just another business. Just like it's just a plant, What this keef test at 30? See, that's that'll meet that 50%.
Yeah. And so there you go. And so you're gonna have extracts of keef and hash, and that's probably it. But then if you'd like to make hash, Ohio will be pretty cool. If you try to make vapes, that sucks. You're gonna need to amend that law.
They'll shape. The markets will shape as people get involved and people with money who don't want to go to jail or want to enable a bigger market, right? Because enabling the markets, this is all fucked up about America when it comes to like changing laws is the money talks. But if you want to change the rules, either fucking run for office or have big money to invest in somebody. donate,
Yeah, good
right?
luck with that. Good luck with that one.
Man, I've been here for an hour now. And fucking 343. Fuck yes, people. Thank
All
you.
right. Well, because we have 343 people, 348, we will just do an international story because
Oh, there you go.
maybe one of you is from Europe. In international news, the European Commission must address the quality of medicinal cannabis across the EU. This is coming from cannabishealthnews.co. 6 years after legalization of medical cannabis in Greece, majority of patients still rely on illegal market. It's not